From shaking melons to terrifying monsters, Moo has a chilling power that allows her to see ghosts. Alongside her busted bride, Hannah, they navigate life, trying to uncover the secrets of magic and witchcraft. Moo wakes up to her alarm, checks on the neighbor's dog, and gets ready for school. She says goodbye to her family and heads out, where she's greeted by Missy Double D's, also known as Mommy Milka's Hannah. After a brief exchange, they're interrupted by Yuria, a short girl who doesn't know how to communicate. The class begins, and Moo seems distracted until the teacher calls on her to read. Her voice is charming, but her appetite isn't as open as Hannah's. While talking, Moo senses something strange around her, but Hannah is acting childish. Suddenly, in the women's bathroom, Moo tries to contemplate her life decisions but fails to find any answers and leaves the school with a new Miss America. Hannah's excitement is as contagious as her jiggling beauty, while Moo, on the other hand, feels lost. She returns to school to find her keychain and doesn't seem the least bit afraid. When she bends down to grab it, she hears weird sounds and runs home in the rain, drenched. She sends a picture to her bestie, but her phone glitches, and the photo keeps repeating in a nightmarish cycle. In a panic, she throws it on the ground, but when she picks it up, the most horrific ghost stares back at her, which she decides to ignore. The ghost leaves her alone, but the trauma lingers, leaving Moo feeling even more depressed. Things get worse when she spots another ghost in her bathroom. What is it with these ghosts and their need for attention? Moo leaves again, looking for some salt. Where did she learn this voodoo trick? She finds some prayer beads to try to exorcise the ghosts, but another one sneaks up under her blanket, seeking more milk. The next day, Moo is sure it was all a dream and continues her day as usual. But when Hannah touches her, Moo is struck to the core and freaks out. Just then, she sees a ghost outside the window, phasing through, trying to intimidate her. She stands paralyzed, and Hannah, clueless, doesn't understand what's going on. After all, who would believe her if she said ghosts exist? The ghost gives up and leaves them alone, while Missy all Sunday looks adorable as ever. They then head to the locker room, where everyone is quite gifted, and Hannah is divinely blessed. Moo looks fine and chill, and totally my type. As she opens her locker, she finds a severed head staring down at her, while Hannah continues rambling. Clueless as ever, she asks Moo to get her phone, but when Moo stretches her hand, the ghost screams from the top of its skull, trying to grab her attention. Moo falls to the ground in exhaustion. Later, Busta Babe from the Bronx politely asks for spare underwear, and Moo refuses to go back to the locker room. Hannah decides to go commando, as every woman should, in my opinion. Another pervy ghost shows up and wraps itself around Hannah like a python. This ghost must be super horny. Moo tries to run away, hoping to rescue her voluptuous friend from being groped and featured in a Hub episode. After going to the nurse's office, Moo feels disgusted by the ghost and looks for ways to get rid of it. She immediately grabs a sanitizer and sprays it over her delicious donuts, but the ghost seems turned on by the whole incident. As Hannah tries to approach her, the ghost draws closer than ever. What is this? 2 girls and 1 ghost. The nurse interrupts the threesome, and the ghost quickly latches onto her melons as they leave. Moo breathes a sigh of relief. Later, they head to a store looking for a sale, but Moo stands behind ghosts who are ready to attend Michael Jackson's concert. After all is said and done, Hannah keeps bragging about her big titties. They encounter a kitty guarded by another ghost and post an ad online, attracting a creepy guy looking to adopt her. Another charming guy shows up, but he turns out to be the spawn of Satan himself. Talk about a demonic presence. They end up giving the kitty to the creep. The next day, Moo leaves the house, feeling flustered and anxious. It seems she's worried about missing the bus. On her ride, she hears strange noises and can't tell where they're coming from. Suddenly, a couple of talkative ghosts pop up, trying to get her attention. As usual, they're ghosted and feel like spoiled little brats not given any candy on Halloween. When they leave, Moo starts acting strangely. Later, at a cafe, she sees a female ghost trying to flirt with a young chap. Are all the ghosts weirdly horny? To make matters worse, this one gets super jealous and thinks Moo is stealing her boyfriend. Fortunately, the ghost leaves her alone when Hannah walks in, and soon enough, the guy's girlfriend shows up, surrounded by demons. These two are a match made in hell. After getting some prayer beads, Mu feels much more confident than usual. She gives a couple to Hana to boost her spiritual defense. When they walk through a dark alley, Mu sees the ghosts avoid the prayer beads. It seems they hate spiritual energy, but soon enough, a scary-looking ghost shatters her beads in an instant. Mu stands paralyzed, lost for words. Thankfully, Hana cheers her up, and Mu starts manhandling her. Later on, they grab a bite and meet a strange Esper lady at the market. Mu can't tell if she's a witch or a scammer, but asks her for prayer beads. When Mu wears them, they shatter instantly, leaving the granny in awe. The old lady is also able to see ghosts and notices the evil aura around Mu. She opens a safe to reveal a powerful artifact in her collection. After Mu wears the glowing prayer beads, she has hope. But the ghosts are too much for the granny to handle. How unfortunate for Mu. The following day, Miko seems to be experiencing an orgy in her dreams until her idiot brother wakes her up. This guy is unbearable, and even Miko is upset. Later, at the store, Miko runs into another annoying ghost who must have been a math geek in a past life. Soon after, she goes home, where her mom is looking hot. Miko watches a horror movie with her annoying brother and seems fed up with the whole situation. Upon seeing a hottie on screen, she gets up to grab a soda, but a coin falls, and she sees a tiny ghost smaller than a Taiwanese rodent. She tries to follow it, but meets its hideous grandpa lurking in the shadows. Wrong move, Miko, dear. Wrong move. She ignores the creepy grandpa sulking over her and tries to grab her coin when a crow snatches it away, rescuing her from embarrassment. Her brother is pissed about not getting his drink, and the next day, he decides to stalk Miko. He receives bad advice from his friend at school, thinking Miko is dating a possessive boyfriend. He can't help but want to protect Miko from her problems. Later on, a beautiful maiden strips down and enters the shower as gracefully as a dove in spring. While she relaxes in the bath, another ghost tries to sneak a peek and stares at her like a weirdo who is dumped at prom. Miko starts trembling, and the weirdo refuses to leave. Fortunately, her annoying brother barges in and is asked to take a bath together. How peculiar. The next day, Miko wakes up as usual and sees her family terrorized by a nasty-looking demon and her deceased father. No one seems to notice this aberration, and they all gang up on her, leaving her flustered. Before she leaves, she takes some pudding and places it on her dad's memorial grave. Her dad is at peace, and the ghost vanishes. Elsewhere, Yuria begs to become the granny's apprentice. Doesn't she realize this is a scam? After receiving a prayer bead, she seems excited and walks off, narrating her life as if she's the main character of the show. She tells us how she started seeing ghosts at a young age and her high aspirations of being the greatest magician in the world. I feel sorry for her already. Soon after, the old lady closes up shop, and Yuria is upset by the whole ordeal. She hides when she sees Mu and Hana and realizes that Mu can also see ghosts. The following day, everyone is in the gym, and Yura approaches Mu, taking her inside the equipment room. She closes the door behind her like a serial assassin and starts interrogating her about the ghosts. She plants shiny bottle caps to attract the little fellas and tries to get Mu to confess. Even so, Mu is well-versed in acting a fool and insists she can't see anything. Meanwhile, a gigantic ghost lurks behind her, but Yuria is completely oblivious to it. Left with no choice, Mu decides to take decisive measures. After seeing how the prayer bead shattered, she remembers a wrestling move and puts Yuria in a rear-naked choke. Soon after, the clueless protagonist wannabe wakes up and meets the actual main character of the show. Mu apologizes and leaves the room, but Yuria takes it as a threat and feels terrified. Later that night, Miko sees a ghost, but it turns out to be an old lady. She carries her home and meets another ghost, who is her deceased husband. He mutters some words, and Miko writes them down. After the old lady uses the code to open a safe, she turns into her prime. What an unexpected surprise. The following day, the two gluttons grab a bite, and Miko runs into the scariest-looking ghost she's ever seen. This time, we get to witness the full horror show.